Namaste. Hello there, beautiful souls. Welcome. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to Tuesday Live Readings. It is my pleasure to be here for you today. And I'm just going to get my channel window open. There are a couple of different themes that we're going to work with and integrate today. So just give me 1 second here and we will get everything open and going. Hello, Elizabeth. Hi, Shannon. I see your question. And yes, Shannon, I will get to your question first and right away. So very difficult situation, my goodness. But I will address that. Okay. Just mixing up the cards. All right, so welcome. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Sadhana, and every Tuesday, most Tuesdays, I'm here doing live readings at 12 noon Pacific. And this 9 days, so we're just in, I think we've just entered the day 789 of Navaratri. Navaratri is the dark moon that just started 6 days ago. And during Navaratri, during the first 3 days, the second 3 days, and the third 3 days, we connect with the different aspects of the goddess. And so this is a practice that is that I learned with my yogic studies. It's connected to the goddesses in the Hindu pantheon. And I have participated in a few different Navaratri practices over the years. And for me, it is about mantra, goddess mantra. It's about rising early and being in the dark hours of the morning and connecting to the energies of the goddess. And this last 3 days, we're connected to the energy of Saraswati. And so that's why her image was on the thumbnail. And I really want to talk a little bit about the goddess Saraswati and how we can connect with her. Perhaps we can also draw the energy of other pantheons and goddesses who are connected to the arts, to music and dance, the voice, and so forth. So that might also be helpful for some of you in bringing in this energy. So welcome to everybody that's coming in. This morning, I was scheduled to be at 6 a.m. in the Facebook group, and I did not show up. I've had quite a chaotic morning. It's like Monday morning for me after the holiday weekend. And so I want to apologize. And so that's why I'm broadcasting on Facebook, not Facebook in my page, but in the Facebook group as well too. So so there'll be people in both places. And thank you all very much for being here. So the energy of Saraswati, I want to show you this. I'm going to switch the camera. This was a gift from my teacher, this carving. I believe it is mango wood. And this is the energy of Saraswati is connected to the throat chakra. And she is, for me, highly inspirational. I feel like the purification of the throat chakra is one that it's my pleasure to work on. I love practicing mantra, and it's a resonance that feels like it's easy. It's easy for me to keep working on this frequency. And so this last 3 days of Navaratri, I'm going to be deep in mantra sadhana and really listening to my voice, and perhaps being a lot more silent. I would love over the next 3 days to practice Mona on a daily basis. Mona is the practice of silence. And I think that's part of the art of purifying this chakra, because it's through silence, it's through being quiet, it's through listening that we can learn so much about ourselves. So this is the gift of the energy of Saraswati. If you know more about the Greek pantheon, for example, and the energy of the muses, Calliope is one. I don't know a lot about that pantheon, but it's really interesting for those of you, and this feels so sacrilegious to even connect these two. For those of you that were Grey's Anatomy fans, I was one. Calliope, who was the orthopedic doctor, the orthopedic surgeon. I just think it's really interesting that she was named Calliope, and she was such a beautiful singer, and she shared her voice in the show, the character Calliope. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So the energy of Saraswati is asking us to focus on our voice. And this was not my intention today, but there's something about the practice of silence that I feel is really important. And so I want to put that out there. I want to invite all of you over the next 3 days, at some point during the 3 days, to commit to an hour or two of silence. And whether that is in your active day or whether that is part of your stillness, just to really reflect on that and how important the practice of silence is to our wellness and to our peace. Last week's archetype in the Facebook group was the womb. And so this speaks and spoke really, really beautifully to the energy of the goddess. And I'm going to start with a group reading, focusing on the voice and the energy of Saraswati. And I'm just going to pull 3 cards for the collective. And I pulled 3 cards for Durga, 3 cards for Lakshmi, and now pulling 3 cards for the voice of Saraswati, and how we can better understand our relationship with our voices, with communication, with music, song, and expression that comes through this portal. This is the portal to the 5th dimension, and we can really find that connection with the 5th dimension through things like dance as well too, through the performing arts of all kinds. And so is there a sacred message from the voice of Saraswati that is available for us today? For the previous 2 readings, I used the lily black and the lily white. So for these 3 cards, I'm going to stay with the same deck. We did have repeating cards on the first and the second readings. Only in a 3-card reading, we had 2 repeating cards, which was quite profound. Feathers, of course. Feathers are connected to the air, to the ether. Just looking at which way the deck's going. Okay. I just heard that Natasha Bedingfield's song. Do you know that song? Wild Horses. I want to run with the wild horses. I want to run with the wild horses. It's about being free. Cancer energy. Okay. I feel like the energy of that song is really, really important. It's almost like it's like that kind of lyric that gives you permission to be you and to just really know that it's been a long time coming, and it's time for you to be free. Wow, lots of water. Okay, so Chariot, 10 of Cups, and 10 of Swords, 2 10s. Okay, 10 of water, 10 of air. Interesting. So the voice of Saraswati, what is she acknowledging? But I want to say a complete release, a complete letting go. If the Ten of Swords is nothing but the cessation of clinging to the ego, it's the death of the ego. And for those of you in the Marielle study group, that 10 of Swords in the Marielle it looks like a death card, you know, and this is a way that I've been interpreting the 10 of Swords for a long time, the death of the ego. And here we have this beautiful balance between, well, there's so many things. I don't know where to go. So with the 10 of Cups in the center, that overflowing energy, that fountain of energy is coming forth. So there is so much movement. The energy wants to flow. It wants to erupt. It wants you to go. There's a beautiful connection between the movement of the chariot and the flow of the water. So what I'm feeling here is that her message is, it's like a pure and free bursting forth of you as you, for you, your soul, yourself. Oh my goodness. Your true self going forth. The archetype this week in the Facebook group is the self. It's the self. So that is the aspect of you that is pure and most deeply connected to your soul. And we can't move forward authentically until we release the ego. And move into a place of trust and let what will be. Que sera, sera, but it's more than that. It's not just que sera, sera, oh, whatever will be. This is about, and I had a conversation about this with a woman yesterday, and I don't know if she'll be listening now, but this is a really hard piece, and that is, we can't expect spirit to move with us freely. We can't have expectations around what spirit is supposed to do for us until we step out of the way and allow ourselves to be guided. We are not truly free. We can't be free. We can't know freedom until that. So it's like a new beginning, right? These two tens, the tens are the beginning, a new step. And so with these two endings, we move forward with the energy of the chariot. Beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the top of the chat, say hi to everybody, and then I'm gonna get to Shannon's question. So Shannon, Elizabeth, I said hello to you. Soul Talker 5, happy Navaratri, namaste. And Irene is here. Hello to Irene and Colleen and Andy and Dee. Mary Beth, welcome. Mimi's Tarot and Gems. And where are we here? Donna Rian and Donna Thompson are both here. Hello. I missed you guys too. And I know one of you commented about me not being on Friday, and I did take some time off for the Canadian Thanksgiving. Joseph, hello. Joseph IT guy, namaste. Susanna, hello, welcome to you. Jamie, thank you so much, Joseph. I really appreciate these little prompts for everybody. And Facebook user. So in the Facebook group, it's necessary for you to let StreamYard know your name. I don't have my Facebook window open, so unfortunately, I can't see who this is. So if you let StreamYard know and give them permission to use your name, then I can see who you are. Okay. Everybody else, Diana, hello. And Katie and Liz, welcome. Welcome. Okay. Beautiful. Appreciate all your comments. Okay, so I want to go back to the very top where Shannon asked a really challenging question. And I think at first, there's a lot of readers that are in the chat. I'd like to talk about this in theory, in principle, ethically. This is a big question in tarot ethics about, certain kinds of questions and whether we have the right or not to answer them. Do you have permission? Do you have the right to say no to any particular reading and so forth? Okay. So Shannon has a reading with someone whose brother was shot and they are seeking the whys. Okay. All right. So for me, step one, and I'm going to go through this. I'm just going to take my time with this because this is Shannon is a student in the Tarot Foundations class and has been working really passionately with the tarot since she started her journey this year, earlier in April. And if you want to share, please be very courteous and mindful in the comments as you support Shannon through this question. Compassion. So first of all, I come in from a place of compassion. And it is, if at all possible, from a place of detachment. Now, I don't know, Shannon, what your beliefs and where you're coming from, because how I would approach this and how you would approach this may not be from the same perspective. And when we're talking to a client who has experienced, I'm assuming death, I'm assuming this person died, they weren't just injured, but I don't know that. You can let us know that it's a very difficult situation. And when this is what I believe and what I have learned through my teachings and my own studies, my own prayer and experience and working with clients, is that when somebody leaves, it is the portal has opened and it's their time to leave. And this is really, really difficult. It's very difficult if it's a child because it's hard to understand why a child would leave. But I believe that it's their time. They were only meant to come into this life for a certain period of time. Now, some people will say that we have a couple, 2 or 3 potential exit points, and we may or may not leave at those points. And we don't know, right? We don't know exactly how this all works. But when somebody dies, it's their time to die. For one reason or another, it's their time to leave. Their gift to this world is done, and they're moving to a different plane. So what I do in a reading when this kind of conversation comes up is I take time to reflect on death. And I might not share all of these thoughts with the client because the client is raw and emotional. Sometimes there's anger. Grief is not fully processed and all of that. It's very, very difficult. So that's why I said compassion is really important. Going through and helping them to create a list of questions Perhaps, is there a message from the person who has passed? Is there anything that Spirit wants me to know about the death? I don't know. I feel like this kind of question takes away from the reverence, the sacredness of the crossing. And no matter how somebody dies, there's a sacred time that's necessary for the crossing to be complete. And when we go in um, desperately, there's a lot of ego that's involved. The emotion is usually out of balance. It's out of control. So it's a really difficult situation. So I would go in with prayer. I would go in with a lot of prayer. I would offer plenty of candles and incense, sacred music for sure. And I would start by sitting in the energy of the loved one and send love and light for their crossing, for their journey. And I would simply ask, is there anything that, because the idea is to bring comfort to the family, right? Right? Isn't that your intention, to bring comfort to the family? So is there anything that, is there a message for the family to help bring comfort? So something like that is going on in my mind. I would never shuffle the cards and ask why he died. Yeah. So I would really go above, because this reading is coming, I would go above and beyond and really set the scenery and set the backdrop for the reading to start. Okay, so that would be really important. Okay. Okay, so Shannon says the client sounds like they are still almost in shock of what happened and just coming out of it. Okay. All right. Personally, I don't believe we can understand the whys, because the karmic patterns, the so there's the person who shot the person who died, and then there's the person who died, and then there's all of the family members who want the answers. And so there's this intersection of a lot of people's lessons and patterns, and it's very, very complicated. There's no way in a tarot reading we can completely get to the bottom of this. So I think I would simply reframe the question and ask if there is anything that Spirit would like us to know at this time regarding the death of, and then fill in the blank. Yeah. And to, really trust what comes through. And if you don't feel like this is something you are ready to do, then you simply say to the client, you just let them know that I'm not ready at this time to offer this kind of a reading. This is very complex, and it feels beyond what I'm comfortable doing. So that's also an option as well too. Okay. So I'm going to pull a couple of cards for Shannon. And just in support of Shannon in this situation. And this is a message from the goddess Saraswati to Shannon, surrounding her with light and love at this time as she sits in this challenging position. So what does Shannon need to know about this situation? This is the Ten of Pentacles. I feel that one of the most important things here is the experience. If you're going to do the reading, it's the experience of the connection and the environment. This is such a beautiful card of integration. So I feel like you know what I was saying, like the music, the lighting, the tablecloth, you know, the whole experience. This is about connecting, a soulful integrated connection. And then we have another card of connection. Okay. This is the devil card. So we have the Ten of Pentacles, the Three of Pentacles, and the devil. And I think pulling this card, I feel like the goddess wants you to know the truth, and that perhaps the parents, the friends, the family aren't aware of the complexities of the situation. With this card showing up leads me to believe that you're dealing with a very difficult situation. Perhaps some kind of substance abuse, but there could be something else. And so that if I were you, I would focus on the experience of the connection with the family. Yeah. And isn't this interesting too? You know, when I'm looking at this card, I'm just looking at this beautiful, wow, you know, I want to take this in another direction. Yes, this is the devil card, but look at that beautiful embrace. And the person whose back is to us is completely leaning into the energy of the person who is offering the hug. So yeah, so maybe this is about you offering the hug. And if you have a hug deck, if you have a beautiful deck of an affirmation deck, maybe you let them each pull a card from this gentle hug deck to let them be in their pain. I mean, there's so many different nuances that we can pull from here, but yeah. Okay. Well, I hope that gives you some food for thought as if you're going to go ahead and do that reading. Okay. Now I'm going to scroll on down, and I think so, Colleen. It depends on how you perceive the energy of trust, and what trust is. So to me, trust is relinquishing egoic tendencies. And that's a really good question. That's a really good question. So trust is the card that makes you feel, um, that big exhale breath. It makes you feel tingly. It makes you feel so connected to spirit. And I think maybe that's an individual experience, and it's going to depend on the deck as well too. Is there I'm thinking of the expression let go and let God. Maybe it's the judgment card, perhaps. Okay. Hmm. Okay, scrolling through. Synchronicity that we're focusing on voice. I listened to an astrological reading about the North Node getting ready to exit Gemini, which was all about the voice too. Synchronicities abound. Katie. Katie's comment, beautiful too. I've been working on trying to sacrifice up expectations as spirit can always see the bigger picture. This is it exactly, right? We get very judgy. Sometimes we can get very judgy with spirit. Sophie, hello. Navaratri blessings to you. Okay. Yes, and thank you to Shannon for offering this discussion. Okay. Yes, that beautiful card. It's such a gorgeous card. Um, and I think Dee's comment is important as well too. We need to be careful when clients are scrambling and they're in that panic mode. I don't think when clients are panicking, it's a great time to do readings. Okay. All right, so we're going to shift gears and we're going to go to Diana's reading. Diana is pondering if she should talk things through with someone to clear the air, or if that would be a waste of time. Isn't that interesting? Okay, so we're focusing on the voice. This is the energy of Saraswati, Diana. So this 3 days, if you can do it now, I feel that you will be most supported by the energy of Saraswati. This is the time. This is the energy where the goddess is giving us our voice. So the answer is yes. It's a definitive yes. It doesn't mean it will be easy, and it doesn't mean that the person will receive it. But what it does mean is that it will clear something for you and you will learn something through the process. So these 3 cards are for Diana. reflecting on the situation where reflecting on her uncertainty of clearing the air with this person. And so what is it she needs to know about clearing the air with this friend? Well, one is to go forth courageously. This is the King of Wands. And look how the King of Wands is looking so beautifully up to Spirit. This is not the King of Wands racing ahead, risk-taking and full of anger. This is the King of Wands full of inspiration. I see this as you as taking responsibility for this situation. So it's like you are moved by Spirit. It's your dharma. It's your dharma to initiate the healing of this relationship. Right? This is not a page. This is a king. Ha. Okay. I just love it when this happens. Oh, this is really beautiful, Diana. Okay, so that repeating card, right? And what we were talking about with Shannon is the relationship between the roots and the growth, the foundation, and all that has been created. Nourishing that is really important. To me, this is a big, 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 big yes. The Page of Wands is there as well too, and she's facing into the King. So it makes sense that there's this aspect of vulnerability here, but they're both fire, and I'm wondering if there's a little bit of volatility, or I don't know. I feel more inspired. I feel like this conversation is so needed. It's so needed for both of you to move on. One of you is the king, one of you is the page. One of you is in need of the support. And perhaps also I'm feeling like that kind of attitude where somebody just says, now stop it. We need to stop being such a baby. We need to clear this up now. Like one of you needs to take charge of this and put an end to this because it's ridiculous. There's so many more important things. So yes, Diana, this is not a waste of time. This is exactly what you need to do at this time. It will feel so much better. Okay. Let's go to the next question, which is Anjali. Anjali, please tell me, will we buy new house soon or will we have to wait? Okay. I'm just reflecting on the energy of Saraswati and feels like it might be a good time. What does Anjali need to know about the purchase of a new house? Something about heart. Heart. What is about heart? Wow, that's kind of interesting. So what I was feeling energetically was heart space, and then we get 6 of Cups. So sixes represent the, the intersection, like the heart chakra, the hexagram. Mm. So Hanged Man would speak to waiting. The King of Cups. Let's put these down in the order that I drew them. They were drawn 1, 2, 3. King of Cups is such a tricky energy to read. Such a tricky energy to read. Okay, so what I feel, Anjali, here is that waiting would be better. This feels doesn't feel stable at all. So if a house were to show up at this time, I feel like you wouldn't be able to make the decision emotionally. There's a reason why something is being put on pause here. Thank you so much for the super chat, Diana. Yeah. So my advice would be to wait, and also to check in with everyone's, like all the parties that are involved, to make sure everybody's on the same page, and to really to check in with all the players that are involved, the grandparents, the parents, and yeah, waiting would be better. Waiting the pause is necessary to resolve the emotional. The pause is necessary to resolve. Okay, so if you look at emotions, if you look at the energy of water as energy in motion, things are moving through. Sorry, I'm having a hard time putting words to this. Until you feel more stable emotionally, and you meaning you and your family, until you feel more emotionally stable, it would be better to wait. That's what this reading looks like. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Ace of Cups would be your trust card. And Liz says Ace of Cups or Star would be trust. Yes, the Star would be a beautiful trust card as well, too. I know some people feel a negative vibe for Judgment. I can't really talk about that today, but yeah, that is a big, big, big conversation, Susanna. Um, it depends on how you interpret that, and what I would suggest. I'm teaching a class in January. Did I have a banner for that? I'm teaching a class in January called Tarot Through the Chakras. And we're going to talk a lot about the energy of the cards. And this would be a great time to reflect on these kinds of questions. So, yeah, great. This is a good conversation, Colleen. Okay. Um, would you please, Facebook user, would you please do me a favor and let me know who this is? If it's the same person that keeps commenting, because I'm sorry, I can't see your name until you let StreamYard know. If you click above where that link is, then StreamYard will put your name into the chat. Okay, let's go to Irene. You have a very sick and hurt feral cat that you're trying to catch to bring to the vet. Okay, yes, I can. All right, this is for Irene. I want to hold love and light around the cat as well as Irene. The kind of message I'm receiving is that the cat wants to die in nature. The cat wants to I hope you don't live in an urban environment. I wonder if there is a plant medicine that the cat is searching for. I wonder if the cat intuitively knows that there's something in nature to support what is wrong with the animal. Okay. And then I pull the High Priestess and a cat. Okay. I don't know if intuitively any of you were picking up on what I was saying here. So there's a real kind of wild We have the two female archetypes here. The mother, right? We have both aspects of the goddess here. So the cat energetically is completely supported by Ma. And what I was saying about the cat needing to be with Mother Earth, with nature, the cat needs to be in charge of itself. The cat needs to be, I feel like the cat doesn't want to be caught, Irene. And I know that's not the message that you want to hear. So his mother, and Donna, you've picked up on something. You've picked up on something, and Colleen as well too. And I feel like the cards confirm that. I feel like this strong feminine archetype. You know, I can be wrong. I could be wrong. And it breaks my heart to even, say this to you. But I feel like the last thing in the world the cats want are to go to the vet. The call of one of you said the call of the wild. It's exactly what I'm feeling. So I want to gather all of our energy around Irene at this time and fill her heart with love. And I want to encourage Irene to just be in the space of love with the cat, the mother cat, an extension with mother, to be in the energy of Navaratri right now is a beautiful time to be connected to mother. So I would be chanting, to mother, one of your favorite goddess mantras, and sending them love, and know that they will be fine. They will be exactly where they need to be with the energy of the Divine Mother. Mhm. There is a real sense of simultaneous. There's such freedom in that as well too. That freedom of falling, freedom and falling, freedom and yeah. Radha. Can I ask why a person who I worked with years back met me? Because we are not in contact, but still I feel the need to be friends or at least be in contact. This person had feelings for me. So your question is, why? Why? Okay. I can ask this. It's so hard being human. It really is. It's so hard being human because of this whole ego thing. We want to know, we act like, why? We want to know why? Instead of just saying to ourselves that they graced our life for a short period of time, and to be in gratitude for them being in our life in a short period of time. Thanking God for them walking through our lives. Yet this part of us, and Radha, this is so normal, right? We want to know, like, why? Why did they leave? Why did they come? Why did they go? It's so hard to be human. It really is. And the to be with grace is the only way. It's really the only way through. So I will pull a card for you, and to see if we're working with the energy of Saraswati today, if she can share some insight into why this person was in your life at that time. I feel a great chasm, like a great distance. Like this reconnecting is not important. They were in your life to bring you joy. They were in your life to shine light. They were a moment of happiness. They made everything feel better. They were simply there to they were simply there to make everything feel beautiful, to shine light and joy, to bring you joy. Can I do this a little bit? There we go. Yeah. And Tower. Okay. They were also there to unnerve you a little bit, maybe a lot, to shift the way that you see something, to shift a paradigm, to shift the way that you perceived relationship, to help you to let go of something. They were there to help you make a change. I don't feel like they're supposed to come back. I feel like their work is done. I feel very much like their work is done. And so once again, to be grateful for their presence in your life for that short time is all you can do. It's beautiful. It's beautiful energy. D says, we choose this human path and meet the ones we need, but perhaps we will not realize why in this life. Yeah. And if you think about little children, and I mean, not all children are like this. You know, how they ask that question, why, all the time. And sometimes as a parent, all we want to just say is, because that's the way it is. We can't always know why. So, yeah. Okay, so we're going to go to Katie. And Katie's wondering if her deity Isis wants her to any messages from Isis. Okay. Isis. Let me see if I have an Isis card handy. Okay. Isis. I've got a whole bunch of new decks over here, and they're not shuffled or anything, and they haven't even been welcomed. So, what deck would Isis like us to use? Okay. I'm going to go to the Dark Goddess Tarot, and I'm going to pull 2 cards and go from there. All right, so this is a reading for Katie, and we're seeking inspiration, a message from Isis for Katie. And it would make sense at this time, those of you that do work with the Divine Feminine, that she would be tugging a little harder at this time, these final 3 days of Navaratri. Oh. I can hear Krishna Das, Ma Durga. Oh, it's such a beautiful kirtan. Yeah, I think I'll turn on Krishna Das this afternoon. Ma Durga. So Ma Isis, what is Ma Isis' message for KT? Ace of Water. Ace of Water. So what I'm really struck by the beauty of the night, the fact that we're in the energy of Navaratri. The moon is still quite small. Look at this Ace of Water. It feels like you're ready for a shift in direction. Like, it feels like it feels like she wants you to embrace and be brave, to shift the energy. Hi, Joel. This is the Dark Goddess Tarot. Okay. So what we have here is we have water and flow. And then with the Amazon of air, I'm really feeling like the water is frozen. Okay, I want to go to the book. I do not familiar with the energy of Scotty. Scotty. So Scotty is the Amazon of air. Okay, so let's go and check this out. One of the things I like about this deck is that there is this is the Norse god of winter and hunting. There's always some kind of there's always some kind of practice in this book. So that's what I want to look to, the practice. So we have the Ace of Water, right, which signifies a new beginning, but we also have, this is the equivalent of the Page of Air, and we're in this mood of voice. And so I want to feel like we're exploring the energy of the voice. Perhaps there is something, we can get really like new mantra, a new song, the page can also be quite playful with the voice. So this feels like a Diana kind of energy as well, too. When Scotty appears, independence requires authenticity, not isolation. Yet being self-sufficient keeps you true. There is a joy in discovering how capable you can become. Stand up for what you believe in. Believe in yourself most of all, and believe in your rights and your right to a life of your choosing. Believe in your value and believe in your ability to make change happen. So what I was picking up with this Ace of Water is that this is a real emotional shift of frequency. And also she says, adding levity is not foolish. Unrelieved seriousness leads to bad decisions. Scotty was a strong and ancient giantess. Scotty storms Asgard, home of the Norse gods, after they caused the death of her father. She's very mighty, very, very mighty. She's hot-blooded. Oh, this is funny. Listen to this. The trickster god Loki makes her laugh by tying his testicles to the beard of a billy goat for a ridiculous and painful tug of war. To select her mate, Scotty's eyes are blindfolded and she is allowed to feel the legs of all the gods. She chooses the most shapely calves, believing them to belong to the beautiful god Baldur, but they are the legs of the ocean god Njord. Accepting her choice, she goes to live with him in the sea. Scotty, okay, anyway, so I really, really like this deck. I have a couple of different decks that are full of legend and mythology, and I think so what I'm picking up on here, your message is one of very much of shifting gears, Katie. Beautiful. All right, let's go on. I feel like doing a couple more, so I'm going to do probably 2 more readings. Oh, hello to Karen's Tarot Vision. Hello, welcome. Thank you for being here. Isn't it interesting? And welcome to Shreya. Welcome to Shreya. Okay, and Just Ria, hello, namaste, welcome to you. All right, I don't think that I missed anybody's questions. So if you, what I do want to share with you is that on Friday, I'm going to be on at 12 noon Pacific, and I'm going to do part 3 of your burning tarot questions. On the community tab in my YouTube page, there is a place there where you can type your questions. And so if you want me to address your question on Friday, I'm happy to do it live. But if you can do it ahead of time, then I can put your question into a banner and also give your question a little more thought. I have about 6 questions already from viewers and students that I will be discussing on Friday. But if you have other questions about working as a tarot reader, a question like Shannon addressed at the beginning today of our time together, that kind of question, where we're talking about ethics or methods, or what would I do in a certain situation with a certain kind of question and things like that. So that's what I'm going to be doing on Friday. Is that unusual that I pronounced your name right, Shreya? Well, my name is my spiritual name is Sadhana, so maybe that's because I'm familiar with the language a little bit. Okay, all right. So I guess we will close our time together today, and why don't we pull one more card from the Dark Goddess Tarot for the collective. Saraswati is not in this deck, but we'll hold her energy. And looking for and speaking to a truth to be revealed. But also I'm kind of feeling like the courage, what do we need the courage, or what can we courageously release? I also feel like the purification of the voice is also, it's a letting go. It's what do we need to let go of? Vishuddhi chakrally speaking. Mm-hmm. We started with that, and I had that Run with the Wild Horses song and Natasha Bedingfield song in my mind. So what do we need to let go of? What do we need to run with? What do we need to release through the voice? Okay. Dark Goddess. I don't know why this is called Dark Goddess. Oh my God, this is so funny. Look at the picture. It's the Devil card. It's the Devil card. It's like, look at this. It just feels like this is we just need to, I don't like swearing on my channel, let's be more precise with our language. Let's be more precise with our language. And let's allow what flows from our let's allow what flows from our mouth, what flows from our throat, to be clean. And let's be more mindful about what flows from our throat. So I'm kind of curious about This is the Aztec goddess of filth and purification. The Aztec goddess of filth and purification. Really interesting connection between second and fifth chakra. Basic realities include unpleasant tasks and distasteful choices. Avoidance of these tasks complicates them further. Choices of convenience catch up with you when you stop running. Is not true. Be careful, be mindful, lest you open yourself to accident and sickness. What I'm feeling is, if it's like, what's that expression? Put your foot in your mouth. Stop putting your foot in your mouth and think before you speak. Because if we were more precise with our words, wouldn't things be so much easier? And I want to go back to what I was saying at the very beginning. Whoa, what just happened here with my screen? What did I do with my screen? Oh, cool. Sorry, I did something really funny with my screen. At the very beginning today, probably some of you weren't here, but I was talking about the practice of Mona, the practice of silence, and how important the practice of Mona is. And so I want to kind of circle back to where I started today, and that is, I want to invite today, tomorrow, and the next day for all of us to choose to find, an hour, at least an hour. And it can be part of your busy time. It can be, it could be any time of day, an hour of silence, and just to observe the effect of silence and how powerful its healing energy is. Sometimes the best thing we can do is simply to close our mouths. And with that, I'm going to say, take good care of yourselves and have a lovely rest of your day. Namaste.